Ja, liebe Investoren, herzlich willkommen heute zu einem Interview mit CEO Steven Weatherall. Er ist von Lucapa Diamond, einem Diamantenproduzenten aus Australien. Die Projekte sind in Afrika und in Australien. Und ja, ich werde heute endlich mal mit ihm die Chance haben zu sprechen, was passiert auf den Projekten, wo kommt der Cashflow her? Das hat er nämlich schon, ja, aus 2 Minen, und zwar sehr, sehr substanziellen. Ich werde mit ihm aber auch sprechen über die Akquisition von Merlin. Und da soll er uns einfach mal genau im Detail erklären, wo er aktuell steht und wie die Aussichten sind. Ich muss an dieser Stelle aber allerdings auch noch kurz erwähnen, nach MiFID II muss ich offenlegen, wir sind Aktionär bei der Gesellschaft. Ich kenne den Steven schon seit 7 Jahren, so lange bin ich auch schon investiert in die Gesellschaft. Und zweitens, wir müssen auch noch offenlegen, dass wir einen Marketingvertrag mit der Gesellschaft haben. Aber trotzdem ist es ein spannendes Unternehmen aus unserer Sicht, fundamental extrem gut entwickelt über die letzten 7 Jahre. Und er hat einiges zu bieten. Den Cashflow, den sehen wir sehr gerne als Aktionäre. Klar, dann muss er nicht unbedingt Geld drucken. Die Minen sind auch profitabel, ist auch sehr, sehr wichtig. Und er hat unheimlich viel Upside in seinen Neuentwicklungen, in seinen auch Explorationsaktivitäten, speziell in Lulo, in Angola, hat er jetzt erst kürzlich wieder eine exzellente News geliefert. Da werden wir auch drüber sprechen. Und zwar hat die Gesellschaft dieses Jahr eine Anlage installiert. Das nennt sich ein Bulk Sample Kimberlit-Mine. Das ist quasi noch eine große Tonnagenverarbeitungsanlage direkt auf den Explorationsprojekten, dass er noch besser analysieren kann, wo denn eigentlich diese sehr, sehr wertvollen Diamanten herkommen. Also wo ist die Quelle, wo ist die Source im Englischen. Und das ist letztendlich auch die große Spekulation bei dem Lulo-Projekt. Denn wenn er diese eingrenzen und definieren und auch finden kann, dann ist es sicherlich ein Potenzial einer Kimberlit-Mine. Und das könnte bedeuten Milliardenwerte, so wie Alrosa. Die Russen haben ja auch in Angola eine große produzierende Diamantenmine. Und diese besonderen Steine müssen ja irgendwo herkommen. Also die in Lulo sind ja im Flussbett quasi bisher abgebaut worden, sehr erfolgreich, mit sehr viel Cashflow und Revenues, also Einnahmen aus den Diamantenverkäufen. Und genau diese Frage geht die Gesellschaft schon seit Jahren nach. Wo kommt eigentlich diese Source her? Wo ist diese Kimberlite Pipe? Und die letzte News signalisiert eigentlich, sie sind ganz schön deutlich näher gekommen, weil bei diesem großen Bulk Sample, also die Großprobenentnahme und bei dem Auswerten und Verarbeiten dieser Großprobe, da sind sehr, sehr viele Diamanten quasi mit an die Oberfläche gekommen. Und das zeigt schon, dass sie vielleicht closer to the source sind, also jetzt vielleicht schon eher wissen, wo die Quelle ist. Also bleibt dran, es ist spannend bei Lucapa. Wir haben, wie gesagt, Cashflow, Profitabilität, Entwicklungspotenzial. Neue Minen sollen auch noch entstehen in Australien mit Merlin. Darüber spreche ich jetzt mit Steven Weatherall. Und klar, diese Konversation, die wird Englisch sein. Für euch kein Problem. Bleibt dran. Ich freue mich. Bis gleich.
Thanks, Wolfgang, and thank you for having me once again. It's been a little while, and look forward to providing an update to the market. Look, Wolfgang, I think that what investors should be looking at Lucapa as a stock. We have for many years explained how unique we are as a company. We've had a focus on not just our exploration activities, but certainly believe that we can add value to our company and our shareholders by investing in additional pillars within the diamond value chain. We also believe that adding a cash generating base to our company is a good one. We are an explorer, therefore we expend money, and we don't want to keep going back to shareholders to look for funding in terms of our exploration activities. We want to self-fund as much as we can. That's what we've added to our program and our company in the last 5 years. As a growing company, you can also expect that we bring in brownfields assets, not only greenfield exploration, but certainly brownfield. In that regard, you will know that we acquired the Mothae project back in 2017, and we evolved a strategy there, a development plan, and we brought that into production as well. Our most recent acquisition, brownfield acquisition, is Merlin, and we look forward to bringing that into production in due course as well. But the simple reason, Wolfgang, that everyone should be investing in Lucapa is that we have been delivering our strategy meticulously over a period of time. Yes, the markets have been volatile, and unfortunately so has our share price shown that same volatility. But our strategy is a good one. Our growth plan is a good one. We're focusing on the right assets. We've got a great management team, very experienced, and the value will be derived in due course.
That's excellent. And having cash flow, I think that's also a plus point for European investors. They want to see companies really operating and making money. So let's talk first about your two operating mines, the Lulo alluvial mine in Angola, and then about the Mothae mine. Just give us a brief update that the investors understand how much revenue you make per year. Last year, I think you have had record revenues. This year, it's also looking very promising. I think let's go into that first before we talk about the other topics.
Yeah, Wolfgang, yes, our two producing mines are very special. I would like to point out that we didn't buy them. We developed them. First, our Lulo mine in Angola from greenfields exploration, delivering a resource and building a mine there, which has now been in operation for some 8 years. It's a very special mine. It provides some of the highest quality diamonds globally, achieving an average dollar per carat, which is at the top end of the tree when it comes to pricing for diamonds. Very, very special, unique mine. Our second producing asset, revenue generating asset, is Mothae. We brought that into production in early 2019. It has been a good little producer. We have in recent months explained to the market that that mine itself has experienced some mass balance constraints as well as logistic constraints with regards to sourcing critical equipment. But we are solving those issues. And we will have that back generating margins in the not too distant future.
And both operations are profitable. I'll give you a little bit of a rundown on the numbers of revenues and how do you deal with cost inflation? Do you have some issues there as well? And can you deal with it because as we know, the diamond price has recovered quite nicely since COVID. I think we had a deep, sharp correction, but afterwards it came back quite sharply. So it's impressive. How can you live with the cost increase, which every mining company maybe has to deal with?
Yeah. Look, I'll talk to the two mines separately again, Wolfgang. Certainly, Lulo is a high margin mine. From our perspective, we have been operating there successfully now for 8 months. That mine produces on average 75 to 80 million US dollars per annum. 2021's EBITDA at that mine was in the mid 30s. So as you can see, US dollars, mid 30 million US dollars. So as you can see, a very strong cash generator. In terms of the mining costs and how those have increased during the course of 2022, inflationary pressures, supply constraints, etc., the impact of Russia's invasion of Ukraine and the cost of energy. We are fortunate in Angola that it is Africa's second largest oil producer, and therefore Angola does provide a subsidy to the diesel price. So the impact on Lulo has not been very, very big. Yes, it has a strengthening local currency, which obviously impacts the cost a little bit, but it continues to be a solid mine. Our mine in Lesotho, the Mothae mine, it generates approximately 25 million US dollars revenue annually last year. It has had its margin squeezed in terms of EBITDA generation. Unfortunately, it doesn't find itself in a oil producing country, being in Lesotho. So when the diesel price does go up, we feel it quite tremendously there. To add to that, some of the critical equipment shortages that we have seen in 2022, as well as access to fleet, we have seen some mining constraints there. So, Mothae is feeling the pinch, but it's a good mine. We certainly are coming up with solutions to return it back to margins. But I think that it's important for our investors or potential investors to understand and know that we're also dealing with a potential VAT amendment bill in Lesotho that was launched last year by the then government. It would significantly impact the operations, and we advised the market of that. The new government, which has been recently elected, has not said anything about it. We as a mining company in Lesotho, together with our fellow miners, have provided feedback to the government in terms of the impact on the mining industry. I'm pleased to say that they have listened to us, and that VAT amendment bill seems to be on hold right now. Don't have any official communication as to whether it will be expunged or not, but we certainly are hopeful that that will be the case. So from our perspective, our continued investment in Lesotho and how we take Mothae forward will be impacted by that amendment bill. If they are going to bring it in, I don't think that I would be advising to our board or to our shareholders to increase the investment when potentially that VAT amendment bill will reduce our margins. We will have to think about our strategic options there. And that is what we have advised the market on the Mothae mine.
Understood, but you are in a dialogue with the government, and I think you have a strong power there with your team and your operation. But let's go to Lulo again and dig a little bit into one of the last press releases when you said you have started your bulk sample plant. Please explain that. What does that mean? And the results have been spectacular. The market has responded quite sharply, 20% share price increase this week. And what does that mean when you have such a success in that bulk sample regarding the goal to find a source, the kimberlite source at Lulo, which is still a little bit open, but are you getting closer to it? And please explain a little bit in more detail.
Yeah, it's in a very, very prospective ground. We are recovering above ground some of the largest, most valuable diamonds, in our industry. Those diamonds are in a secondary source, alluvial gravels, and they have been fed from a primary source. Because of their large size, their irregular shapes, jagged edges, we don't believe that these have traveled very far. So our exploration efforts are focusing in and around that same area where we are recovering these diamonds from. When we look underneath us, we have got a significant kimberlite province. It has taken us a number of years to get to where we are today. Yes, it has been a number of years. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to maintain the interest of some shareholders, but you can see by the interest back in the stock in recent days because of our announcement, we're getting some of that interest back. Unfortunately, diamond exploration isn't a quick game. We have taken it and we have taken it on board and done it in a very methodical way because of the number of kimberlites we have to sift through to find our proverbial needle in the haystack. But we're at the narrow end of that funnel now. All the work that has been done over the last 7 years has led us to this position. We're in a very exciting stage, the bulk sampling stage. We're now taking ore from those targets and putting it through a recovery plant, a standalone kimberlite bulk sampling plant to recover diamonds to give us very, very quick information as to whether we believe, that pipe is economic or not. We've got a number of targets that we're processing through, and you can expect very similar results to what we put out last week with our kimberlite results. L164 has been our most prolific hit to date. We're recovering diamonds at a good grade, at a large coarse size, and we certainly believe that the information gleaned from this specific find, when we map that information over all the other kimberlites that we have got information for, the ability to prioritize and go and select those ones which will hopefully produce the goods is certainly a lot easier. So we certainly think that our future is going to have many more similar announcements, and we just want to put these samples through the kimberlite bulk sampling plant. So that is the excitement that we have around a very, very prospective project. And I'd just like to point out as well, as a small company that has been applying our trade and our exploration program in Angola for a number of years, there is no other diamond company out there, and I don't care whether you look at a major company or not, who is discovering, identifying, and doing a considered bulk sampling program such as we are in any country globally. So we are quite unique. You add that to our two producing mines that we've already covered. I think that those are three assets just on their own that should attract investors to our stock.
No, we like that, and that's why we're also long related with the company. But Steven, what would it mean if you can confirm the source? I mean, that's a multi-billion-dollar value. Is that another El Rosa mine in Angola?
Wolfgang, I wish I could tell you what the ultimate dollar number is, but it's the size of the pipe and the diamonds that are contained in it that will determine that. And unfortunately, that's something that I don't know right now. But what is the prize we are looking for? In an Africa Down Under presentation that we gave in Perth in September of this year, we've put a couple of slides into that presentation comparing the recoveries and the grades we are getting from our alluvial mining. If you add to that the grade that we actually have announced as per our initial bulk sampling results from L164, and then you look at the value of the diamonds we're recovering, it's a very, very good comparison to one of the most famous diamond mines in our industry, the Letseng mine in Lesotho. So, if we find another one of those, it will be one of the most special mines globally. So that is what we are looking for: high-end, low-grade, but very, very special niche mine.
Oh, that's certainly exciting, and that's actually on top of your operational success. So investors are getting that opportunity for free, and even the valuation with your operating mines is not on full value, I would say. So that's certainly important to outline for our investors and gives a lot of upside.